It's morphin' time. Pterodactyl.
Hi there, this is Datila with 3 Years of Wrestling, bringing you the Wrestling Time post show. And for tonight, I will be reviewing Monday Night Raw. Alright, so tonight's Monday Night Raw was the go home show to the Elimination Chamber. At least from the Raw side, we still gotta do the SmackDown go home show. So, Monday Night Raw. Before I start, I want to say Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Alright, so Monday Night Raw kicked off with Bobby Lashley. He was out with MVP, and MVP was saying that Bobby Lashley has, I think he said he has 16% chance of winning at the Elimination Chamber, and he's pretty much thank you, Danny. Same to you. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, Danny. And he's pretty much destroyed everybody that he's come into contact with on the chamber. He says the Elimination Chamber shortens careers and it changes people, which is true. We've always heard that about the Elimination Chamber. And then Seth Rollins comes out and interrupts and says that Bobby Lashley looks great, but not as great as he is. You guys remember Seth Rollins is the drip god. Then, in 1 second, just wanting to see. Then after that, he says that he has bad news for Lashley, and he says that he's champion tonight, but he won't be able to beat Seth Rollins. He said that Seth Rollins is going to beat him. Then Matt Riddle comes out wearing a toga, riding his scooter, and he says he's going to have a toga party, and the audience starts chanting toga, 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 which I thought was great. And then it calls it RK Brotica party. And then Austin Theory also comes out. Then AJ Styles comes out and says that they need to worry about him. And he says that Riddle is right. He does have a sweet toga. I thought it was pretty sweet too. But AJ Styles tells Austin Theory, your lips have been on Mr. McMahon's for so long, you're not making sense anymore. Which I thought was hilarious. Then at the last minute, of course, Brock Lesnar is the last one to come out. He comes out with his cowboy hat and his coat. He puts that cowboy hat and coat on Austin Theory, who tries to jump him. But then he gets a German suplex. And the thing that I like about the end of this segment was that Brock Lesnar tries to take a selfie with Austin Theory. Kind of like how Austin Theory always takes with everybody. And that was hilarious. Then we got the Street Profits versus the Dirty Dawgz. This wasn't a bad match, but apparently Tommaso Ciampa was on commentary. And Dolph Ziggler seems to be feuding with him on NXT. So I don't watch NXT, so I'm not sure what their feud is about. But he causes a distraction in this match, and it allows the Street Profits to win. And then at the end, Tommaso Ciampa gives him a super kick. Then we get the U.S. title match. Is Damian Priest versus AJ Styles. And this was a good match. Last week's match was good. This week's match is good too. One thing that I did like about this was that Damian Priest was victorious and it was a clean finish. There was nothing. It was no DQ, none of that. It was a straight, solid, clean finish. So I'm happy about that. Then we had a 2-on-1 handicap match. It was Omos versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, but yet they were referred to as the Hurt Business. This was basically a squash match. I don't know what happened to Omos. We hadn't seen him in a while. So this match didn't do it for me. The Hurt Business does not deserve that. Local Jobber is okay, but not the Hurt Business. Meanwhile, backstage while all this is going on, we find out Kevin Owens lied about his love for Texas. Matt Riddle is having his little brogata. I'll fast forward and AJ tomorrow. Okay. Meanwhile, Matt Riddle's having his birthday party. Randy's not in. Randy was invited, but he didn't go. He's backstage watching. I don't know what he's going through his mind, but he probably was like, what the heck? So then we get a contract signing between Becky Lynch and Lita. Becky coming out with her hair messed up, and she just looked down in the dumps today. She says she hasn't slept all week thanks to her teenage idol coming at her. And then Lita says she has one more championship run left in her. Lita is pushing Becky to a point she doesn't want to go, but that's what Becky says. And she isn't afraid to go after Lita's neck. If you guys recall, Lita's had a lot of neck problems in the past. She even broke her neck once too. And Lita says that she had a hand in creating Becky. It's her job to finish it. So I'm surprised. This is like one of the few contract signings that did not end in a total disaster. Because usually contract signings, weddings, and parties all end in disaster in the WWE. So next we had the Gauntlet Match for the Women's Elimination Chamber. So basically with this, whoever wins this match would enter last in the chamber. So the first match was Rhea Ripley versus Nikki A. Said it was a good match, even though we've seen this feud. So it was all right. Rhea Ripley won. And then we had Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I believe they said it was the first time Liv Morgan fought Rhea Ripley. It was a good match. Rhea Ripley versus Doudrop, which again was a great match. It was also the first time they've had that match. Then in the end, it was Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was exhausted, and that, it showed, and that's why Bianca Belair won this. So she's entering the Elimination Chamber last. One thing they did like about this is that Rhea Ripley gave one hell of a performance. It said, I believe she lasted 44 minutes in this match. So I really loved Rhea Ripley in this match. It was a fun, overall these matches were fun. I really like the gauntlet aspect of this. And we had 5 women's matches, so I liked it. It was probably one of my favorite matches of Raw tonight. Then we had the Mysterios versus Alpha Academy. So before the match started, Gable basically said they don't need to cheat in anything. And he says that the accent is thicker than Otis's neck, which I thought was hilarious. And he says that Conman Rey Mysterio is showing his son that he needs to cheat to win. And then Miz comes out, but he's really just going to be on commentary watching this match. So after the match starts, basically Chad Gable and Otis are dominating Rey. See, it makes more sense for the Mysterios to be feuding with the Alpha Academy because they're a tag team. I don't get why Dominic and Rey Mysterio are feuding with The Miz when he's a singles competitor. So during the match, Dominic tries to do a tribute to Eddie Guerrero by trying to do the Three Amigos, but Chad Gable stops him. He only manages to do 2. I like the double 619 to Chad Gable. Of course, like I said, Miz was on commentary, so he got up and tried to cause a distraction. Rey Mysterio stopped him, but Alpha Academy still picked up the win, and then in the end, the Miz gave Dominic a skull-crushing finale. So, like I said, I don't know why Rey Mysterio and Dominic are feuding with the Miz when they're a tag team. They should be feuding with a tag team, but I guess they don't know what to do with the Miz, and it was announced it would be the Miz versus Rey Mysterio at Elimination Chamber. So I don't know what the purpose of that is. So also, speaking of the Elimination Chamber, we also found out who the last woman in the Elimination Chamber is. I thought it was going to be Asuka or Bayley, but it turns out it's Alexa Bliss. She's officially cured, so to speak. So she's the final woman in the chamber match. And her therapist said that she needed to have Lily next to her at all times, which that's how she stays cured. So I'm wondering if they're going to do like a whole split personality type of thing. Like what happens if she loses Lily? I guess she's going to go berserk. Is she going to revert back to Sister Abigail? I guess you're going to have to wait and see. But that's one thing that did pique my interest. Hopefully it's something entertaining and good and it doesn't fall flat. And then in the end, in the main event, we had Seth freaking Rollins versus Randy Orton. I actually was digging this match. This was a pretty good match. They made reference to the fact that the last time they fought each other was August 10th, 2015, which was 7 years ago? So, one spot that I liked was Orton slamming Seth Rollins onto the announce table. And then, surprise, we didn't get a no DQ. I know sometimes we do. And then I like how Randy Orton went flying over the announce table. Ooh, Seth Rollins giving Randy Orton the rolling elbow. And Randy Orton gave Seth Rollins the RKO. Then Alpha Academy got involved. It distracted Randy. Of course, Riddle came out. He wasn't going to leave Randy alone. But that distraction cost him the match, and Seth Rollins ended up winning. So it's the same thing with The Miz. I don't know why Seth Rollins is feuding Randy when he's in a tag team. But I will say, one thing that I did like about this Raw was the Gauntlet match, the United States Championship match. I like the little toga party they were having backstage. They even got Kevin Patrick, the announcer, to be a part of it too. Reggie turned on Dana, broke her heart. It was Valentine's Day edition. So I have to say, you know what? Tonight's Raw was not too bad. It really was not too bad. So I know we're supposed to be building towards the Elimination Chamber. We kind of did a little. Except for the squash match between Omos and the Hurt Business, I don't understand why we had that. That's the one thing I didn't like about Raw. So in terms of this, I also kind of didn't. I mean, since I don't watch NXT, I don't know why Ciampa was on commentary. But I did like the opening. I like the US title match. I like the Gauntlet match. And I like the Toga Party segment. And I did like the main event. So with that being said, you know what? It was actually not a bad Raw for Raw standards. And they included a Valentine's Day segment without going overboard and without it being the whole main focus of the show. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give tonight Monday Night Raw a 4. 4 out of 5 and a 7 out of 10. Just because I didn't think it was that bad. It was actually pretty decent. But what did you guys think of Raw? Did you guys like Raw? What did you guys rate? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great Valentine's Day. Bye.